Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NBA show. It is March 9th, Thursday. Thursday, March 9th, dude. That's one very quick month. We got a doozy of a slate here. Gotta get this blanket all set up perfectly. And yeah, we're gonna get into it, but we're gonna, get I love doing this generic countdown here. Wherever the hell it is. Nope. Damn, dude, there's no way. I just prepared this.
Bro, you know what's the worst thing? I'm so fucking mad.
What was that?
I tried to be a good Samaritan and get a good night's sleep early. And every time I go to sleep early, I oversleep for the show.
Well, I try and tell you, man. You only need 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, not really. Sometimes you gotta sleep in.
Give me 1 second, I gotta pee.
All right, so we're gonna start it off with my Chicago Bulls. Oh, I had a whole skit ready. The Chicago Bulls. This news sucks, man. We're gonna talk Bulls later on in the show because they got the most impressive win yesterday, and I'm about to go at Cyro for his favorite NBA podcast, not even discussing it. But anyways, bad news. ESPN sources, there's growing possibility that Chicago Bulls guard Lonzo Ball will need a third surgical procedure on his right knee that would likely require another 6 months of recovery and rehabilitation. So it's March. All right. They're apparently bouncing on this. Yeah, we got a little bit more here. I think it's where the Bulls and Balls representatives with Clutch Sports are working together and consulting with specialists before a final decision on surgery is made, sources said. But a procedure sometime this month would further delay the possibility of Ball ramping up for a return in the 2023-2024 season. So it's also, what's up, Chris? Appreciate you. And what's up, Karam? Hopefully I said that right. It's March. It'll probably be sometime in the month, right? April, May, June, July, August. What did they say? 6 months? September. All right. That's about a month before the NBA season starts. Yeah, 6 months until this happens. It really sucks, man. And, obviously, it's this is like worst case scenario. He's 25, so he's still super young. He's still on that contract, but if he gets this surgery, it would be 3 knee surgeries in the span of 14 months, which absolutely sucks. This is a career 12, 6-6 player. This is a guy for my Bulls last season who had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's averaged over a steal and a half his entire career. They shot 42% in the 35 games we saw of him last year. It just sucks, man. It really does. Oh, you know what? All right, let's just hop into some Bulls talk because Cyro, your favorite NBA show. You want to know what did they not talk about yesterday? You want to take a stab at it?
I don't know what.
Oh, well, probably the best team in the league losing to.
That's a sick jacket.
Yeah, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super.
It's
the Bulls. I think it's got Bulls on the back. Oh, wait, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Anyways, the Chicago Bulls took down the best team in the league, Nikola Jokic and Denver Nuggets. And I actually had a whole notebook on how you beat the Denver Nuggets, but I wanted to write my dreams, so it's all the way by the bed, and I won't get it. Before you comment on the game, what's your take on the Daily Ding? Not talking about
I love
this
the
game.
Daily Ding.
I usually don't mind it, but why'd they not talk about this game? It's the Daily Ding. This is a pretty big deal, is it not?
I did not see the Lonzo Ball news before the show that he was having a third knee surgery.
Just happened.
It's
not confirmed yet.
I know.
It's looking like it, though.
He already had a knee debridement, which is like a pretty serious knee injury. All right, we're talking about they peeled his knee back and like went and cleaned it up. It's pretty gross, but I don't know, man. I have no idea. I know medicine, we've gone a long way, but isn't like 3 knee surgeries within 2 years like really bad?
14 months. Well, you know who else has had that is Victor Wembanyama, and he doesn't get the same.
What do you mean?
Victor Wembanyama, or maybe it wasn't surgery, but he's had 3 major injuries in a span of 14 months.
Really?
Yeah, I bring it up every time we talk about it. No one seems to really care about it. The Bulls should have Lonzo for at least 2 more seasons. He's on an unbelievable contract. If he was not injured, 4 years, $80 million. That's like one of the best contracts in basketball. He'll be making 20 and a half next season. Then he's got a player option, and the way things are trending is there's no way that player option isn't being taken as it. And I hope it is, because what is it? 23 million, 21 million. Like, yeah, please take it. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I wish the Bulls had like a Tyus Jones on their team, so they'd be able to, you know, try and make do with what they have. I love Ayo Dosunmu. I love, you know, Kobe White, streaky. That ship seems to be sailing, but it sucks. I mean, when Lonzo's healthy and the stats just don't really even back it up, it's not like he has bad stats in the slightest. It's just I think his impact is way more, you know, because of the defense mainly. But 12, 6, and 6 in his career, it's all right. It'll be all right. I'm not too worried. I really am not. I know Bulls Nation is kind of freaking out, but
this season seems to be a wash. It's just that like this injury. Are we going to see the same Lonzo? That's where it gets concerning.
Yeah. Well, I don't need Lonzo to – I'd prefer the Pelicans to have a Tyus Jones. Who doesn't? They would actually – Tyus Jones on the Pelicans.
Tyus Jones – we talked about this yesterday. Tyus Jones on a lot of teams.
Would be so money for that basketball team.
But, the fact that Tyus Jones is a backup for Ja Morant, I think is just freaking crazy to think that, like, there's like at least 5 teams in the NBA that Tyus Jones could start on.
Definitely. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much Lonzo because it's.
What happened to Dalen Terry?
Yeah, Dalen Terry was a guy who was, you know, supposedly NBA ready, and he had a good game a couple of weeks ago, but he's not really in the rotation.
But I thought the whole purpose of drafting Dalen Terry was to help out Ayo Dosunmu and the rest of the guards, like you said, because he was NBA ready. Has he just not played? Has he like?
You might have a. It might be me. You might be in. Have your earbuds. It sounds good though, but when you talk, it's staticky.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah. Whoa. All right. Well, I want to talk about this Bulls game because it was absolutely beautiful. I'd like Cyro to be here for it though, because the players started today. That's right. It's a great tournament. Hopefully Rockets can get it. Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little Rockets in today's show. Maybe we'll do 2 hours. Who knows? Bulls take down the Nuggets 117-96. And I get it from the Nuggets standpoint where it's like you're already pretty much locked in at 1. You know, maybe Sacramento could get there, but the Bulls are not a post-scoring team necessarily, and they just completely abused Jokic all game. And it's, you know, Jokic has improved as a defender. in the last couple of seasons, but it's just his athleticism really can only take you so far. And he can't block shots. He's just not a shot blocker. So
You talk KD yet?
No.
What's after this? After finish your thought.
The good news for Denver is now you have more offensive firepower, and they're continuing to fill in the gaps on defense. Aaron Gordon is huge. KCP's huge. Brown's huge. But Brandon Ingram got injured. It's just the Denver Nuggets aren't winning the championship this year. But the good news is the mid-range is going out of style. So if this is Chris Paul's last season as Chris Paul, if this is Steph Curry's last season, or if this is Golden State's last season, I
don't think it's Steph Curry's last season.
No, I mean like the Warrior,
no. I was making fun that you changed your sentence halfway through. You're about it. You go, if this is Golden State's last season, it was just funny.
It's just the mid range. He's just gonna get abused every single time, and that's just the way it goes. Because it'll be. I wonder who the scapegoat will be. It might be KCP. It reminds me of Will Barton whenever they would play the Dubs or the Suns, where he's gonna get all the slack because he has to guard whoever the point guard is. And if you get a guy who can set good picks like DeAndre Ayton or Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, they're going to take advantage of these mistakes. So, yeah, I was sold last night that Denver isn't going to win the championship.
Last night's game's a game that does make you frustrated. The Clippers looked amazing, too, at the same time.
I wouldn't use the word amazing, but they looked improved, and we can talk about it after this news. And this isn't good.
Oh, it's a grade 2? Oh,
that's the thought. We'll know today, I'm imagining. It's like a weird freak injury.
Click on the picture.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. You're welcome. Looks better, right?
Yeah, it looks great. I'm probably going to use this for all my videos like I do like this.
Anyways. Yeah, it's a good look, right?
Yeah. KD injured. We'll know today because I believe he finished the warm-ups, and they were taking the cautious route, but who knows if he woke up with swelling today or.
Have you ever sprained your ankle?
Yeah, I've sprained my ankle way too many times, and
it
blows balls, and it always gets puffy. And
I've only done it once. I've only rolled real bad. Like I was ace bandaged for a month.
A lot of injuries last night. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out today because I think KD's the most important because he's a new acquisition. Luka should be fine.
Yeah, I thought Luka's was fine, and this
BI should be fine.
Was this was from the other night, right?
Yeah, all this happened last night, but BI didn't finish the game. But I saw reports that he was able to finish or available. Luka didn't finish the game.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, the one against. Okay, I did not know Brandon Ingram left the game last night.
Yeah, he went down relatively early. I think it was the second quarter. Mr. CJ McCollum scored 16 straight points in the fourth to keep him in it.
Let's talk about Kevin Durant.
So the reason this sucks is it's not like Steph Curry going down and people were panicking about that. Oh, Steph Curry is going to miss the rest of the season. He's going to come into the playoffs on a minute restriction. KD just got acquired from Phoenix. So you want to build that rapport, and ideally you don't want to build that rapport when the playoffs start. And judging on the first round, they could play anybody from the Clippers to the Warriors. Those aren't teams that you want to play where Kevin Durant's just coming back from injury. But we'll wait and see. We'll see how that ankle is today. What time is it in Phoenix? 7:41. He's up and he's at it. So
they're 2 hours behind us?
Yeah, they're in Mountain Time, which is just 1 hour behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. Fuck, man. I mean, they got the Devin Booker went off last night, and Terrence Ross did too. carried the team, got the dub. Oh, it's just concerning. Hey, does this bring up the conversation that Kevin Durant is now an injury-prone player?
Well, the last two injuries have been from other people. But I will say, with a build like Kevin, you do get that worry that first off, don't wear low tops. I don't know why.
I don't. I
I don't
agree.
know
I agree.
who. I really don't know why teams don't understand this simple concept. Don't let especially your star players play in low tops. What's he doing playing in low tops? People are blaming the floor. Floor looked fine. It looked like he misstepped, wasn't focused, whatever happened, and he got injured. He injured himself. I saw no slippage. Looks like he turned his ankle the wrong way. I don't think he's injury prone, like I said, because the last two, who are the guys who injured him? He's not a net anymore. Whatever it is, it'd be like a football player, when an offensive lineman, running backs down and the offensive lineman and the knee locks. So I wouldn't say KD's injury prone, but it does get you thinking like somebody with his build, you got to be cautious. So they have him for several more seasons. This either way probably isn't the year they win a championship, even if he wasn't injured. Just there's a lot of good teams out there, but at the same time, it is wide open. But he finished the warm ups.
I just think. I know some people are going to be like, "Oh, this is fucked," because they need to get all these minutes, these runs in with him, and build the chemistry. I don't think it's that important. It's Kevin Durant. You can just plug and play him in. But what I think it does screw the Suns over is testing out different lineups. Like,
Sure.
they don't get Monty Williams doesn't get now like 10, 15 games to try out the different KD D book lineups, to be able to mix and match with all the players they have on this roster to see what's our best defensive lineup, what's our best offensive lineup. I don't think the Suns win the championship anymore.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, if the playoffs ended right now, they play Golden State, and even Golden State is struggling. I think they'd be able to. Basically, the Suns in their first round of the playoffs, especially, are going to make a bunch of mistakes just from lack of rapport and chemistry. And I think you play a team like Golden State, they're gonna take those. They're gonna take advantage of those. So it sucks, but this isn't confirmed quite yet. Morning's just starting for him, and we'll see how that ankle is holding up. Hopefully, he can at least play the last 5 games.
Did you hear that sound? It sounded like. Dun, dun.
That was my right elbow.
I don't know if you're being serious.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I cracked it.
No, there was like a sound effect.
Yeah, it was my right elbow.
Dun dun. No, it was like electronic.
That's probably you then. I didn't hear it.
It's like a goddamn elbow. Don't feel that's fucking special. Wait, let's move on from this.
I think this is the year. The East. Oh wait, I have a funny video to play. I'm sure you saw this. Wait. Go to the freaking tweet. Here we go. Is it on the screen? No.
I thought that. I mean, I don't.
Can you
mind.
hear it?
I'll take a fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I thought,
How are you doing this?
Ben Taylor was
I don't
fucking
know.
terrible tonight. I thought that on most nights,
Because I can't hear it.
couple of the, out of the 3, there's 1 or 2 that just fucked the game up. And it's been like that a couple games in a row. Denver was tough, obviously. You come out tonight, you're competing pretty hard. The third quarter, I get a bullshit tech, changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be dicks and just kind of fucks the game up. Nobody's coming to see that shit. They come to see the players. And I think we're losing a little bit of the fabric of what the NBA is and was. And it's been disappointing this season. You could look up most of my texts this year have been with Ben Taylor officiating. So at a certain point as a player, you feel it's personal, and it's never a good place to be. That's not why we lost tonight. We got outplayed.
That's fucking wild.
Isn't that awesome?
You can leave it up. You can leave it up so it's just there.
The Raptors back-to-back nights just keep getting screwed over, and I love the way he started that post-game interview, just going at the ref. He'll catch a nice fine for it, and he's right, dude. I mean, first of all, the last game on Monday against the Nuggets was a bullshit call, and it's crazy. And Freddie brings up a good point with kind of most refs do a good job, but sometimes you have these refs that it feels like, think Scott Foster with James Harden, like just feels like there's these certain biases. Yeah, like and he's right. Like people aren't going to see the refs play, and the refs keep impacting these games late, which is nobody cares.
I'm still mind blown the fact that Lonzo Ball is having another surgery. Like that one still like really shocks me, just because he's somebody that like we've seen since he's 15 play basketball. But either way, I think Fred VanVleet right here, he brings up a great point. I mean, every sport has problems with officiating. Why? Because no one wants to be a fucking official. All right, there's not enough training in all this.
Pilots.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think the big problem here is the fact that most officials are good guys, but in all sports, there's always officials who seem power hungry and obsessed with power. I just think it should be former NBA players.
Oh wow, yeah, I don't think they give a shit about that.
I think, but imagine like same thing for NFL. If the NFL had former NFL players be refs.
Yeah, just I don't think they care to do that.
They don't care, but like, wouldn't it would be way better officiating if you had the former players officiate?
Yeah. And you're starting to see it now. There's just not a lot of, especially right now, there's not a lot of continuity. I notice it a lot when I watch the Raptors play, where they'll start off the game, the first half at least, is they're letting them play. Like I noticed it Raptors Bulls, like there's just bang, foul. Nothing's getting called. They're letting these guys play. And then third quarter, especially fourth quarter comes along, and it's like the stuff that wasn't flying in the first half, they were letting fly in the first half somehow now is a big no-no. The Scotty Barnes ejection was absolutely ridiculous, and it's why it's not even that it lost them the game. They didn't even have an opportunity to win the game after that happened. So
yeah, no, I think it's frustrating to think about the fact that these games are being decided not by the players but by the officiating.
Yeah.
And that's never, yes, it's regular season basketball, but now's the time to get that stuff fixed, because in the playoffs is when those calls really matter, because that could be deciding if a franchise is being sent home or not.
Yeah, this one was ridiculous. Zach LaVine almost got one yesterday because they're just bounce passing the ball and it's like a little bit low, and the ref's like, he got it ready.
What do you call it?
It wasn't a tech. They just gave a bullshit foul to Zach LaVine from the play where he didn't foul. Forget who. I think it was Aaron Gordon, but yeah, it's just ridiculous. The Jordan pool was an absurd one as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I still can't. It's just a really frustrating situation. Because the other thing, it exasperates the players' energy, because they're just like, man, fuck this. I can't, like you lose your morale.
That's the thing that Freddie's saying. Yeah, that wasn't.
It's disheartening.
Yeah, it's a momentum shifter.
Yeah,
TP.
And
TP just missed the rap talk. To finish off some Raps talk, I know they're in the play-in right now. I would say if they were to go on like a 3-game losing streak, and they won the loss away from going on a 3-game losing streak, I would say if they were to fall to 10, if they were to ever be out of the play-in, I would end it. I would end the season, which I know sucks, but if they're planning on running it back regardless, and I know you're a big fan of teams like OKC and just getting into injury rest management essentially, the Raptors season has not been good.
Did you see what I sent you about Shea? Shea's starting to have injury management.
That's what I'm saying. Like OKC's looking at it, and OKC's a little bit different because both teams are. The Raps are in the play-in right now, but they're at these stages where it's like, we can compete. We know we can compete. So why not just
I think the Thunder
try and get a top 10 pick?
Yeah, I think the Thunder are going for the top 10 pick now. Because they don't have their pick next year, and this is the last year that they can tank.
It is, yeah. Their situation might be a little different because Shea's been battling some injuries recently. So it might just be like, we don't even want to risk it. Even if it's a low risk, let's call it a wash. Let's see what we got. Let's see some of our younger cats. Let's see how Giddey can command the offense without Shea. J-Dub's dealing with the injury.
I think it's definitely injuries are a common thing here. But I just think we heard all last season that Sam Presti was this team, if they didn't feel like there was games to play for, that they were going to tank. And I think there's no games to play for.
But they're one game out of the play-in, and the play-in's a pretty big deal for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in several years.
Yeah, but do they think they're going to win the championship? Probably not.
Yeah, I think people put too much importance on. Oh, can you win the championship this year? No, then tank. I think that's what's wrong with tanking.
What do you think of Ja? Ja will be out at least 4 more games, and then we have Luka Doncic with the MRI. A lot of injuries last night, and then Brandon Ingram with his injury.
Yeah, we'll wait and see with the Pelicans. They've been really struggling ever since that 10-game losing streak, but they could hold on. And Pelicans are a team where if they're healthy enough, they can get out of the play-in and get into a 7-game series. And it is also, it's something they did last year. And so a lot of these guys, most of them have that experience. So how important is it? I'm not really worried about Brandon Ingram's injury. I don't believe we have an update on it, but it just goes to show you, I know you're a big fan of it as well. Get rid of back-to-backs. Let's shorten the season down to 72 games, and let's stop having all these injuries.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's only NCAA offer was from Old Dominion.
Ooh.
And he says he wished he could have gone to college.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
He said he wished he could have gone to Duke.
That would have been awesome. Well, I'd take Giannis on Duke.
You hear what happened with Sean Kemp?
Yep.
Drive-by shooting?
I think that's been confirmed, though.
Nah, he's arrested. In connection.
Well, yeah. In connection. I don't know.
Can I say this? There's this commercial where it's like, I'm an aspiring musician, but in my spare time when I need to make cash, I DoorDash. So I'd like to say you're a failed musician who supports himself through DoorDash.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Am I wrong though?
I always thought that commercial was like, I don't have time because of my failed musical career, so I order DoorDash. Is that an ad to promote door dashing?
Yeah, door dashing to make extra money.
I always thought that was Flip.
You want to put on Pirtle before I go and do my interview? I forgot to tell you this. The interview that I thought was yesterday was today.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
This is on the screen. Turtle power.
That's the Martin Rosen.
Nice and easy.
There's 450 NBA players. Okay, that means there can be a new guy every single day.
But there isn't.
There isn't. And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so mad. I went to sleep at 11:30. Are you drinking soda at 10 a.m.?
I'm drinking a rum and coke. No, it's
I don't.
What is it called? Cold brew.
Dude, you buy the cold brews?
Oh yeah, I don't have a coffee maker.
I thought you went and bought one.
It's like $120.
I told you to buy the $20 store brand one.
I'm not going to Walmart, dude. I hate going to there's like the whole town here is.
No, you don't have to go to Walmart.
Hours.
Just go on Amazon or Walmart and have it delivered.
It's just so much work. Then you got to buy and then I have to get a coffee mug. You have to buy the pods. I move in less than a month, so I got to be live.
Have you decided what you're doing if you're chilling in Florida?
I have no idea where to live. Like I have zero clue.
Or if you're gonna stay in Chicago for a few months and stack up.
Well, then I'd have no car.
So, why you just leave your car down here?
Definitely, yeah. My car is a piece of. It's somehow still. I got like last time I went to the auto shop, I had like $4,000 worth of shit I need replaced. So I don't really want to take that.
What about
going back?
What about a new car? This is the next move.
A new car. This car's paid off, man.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. I'm gonna drive this thing to the ground.
That's how I am with mine.
Yeah. Don't move to Jacksonville. It's the purge. I think I'll be in Jacksonville this weekend.
Jacksonville's a terrible place.
What? I've heard the opposite of what you guys are talking about. I was looking into living in Jacksonville.
I would never live in Jacksonville unless I'm a fucking hick that fucks his sister.
Jeez.
All right, I gotta go do this interview. Maybe I go fucking end up the orientation assistant. I'm so fucking mad that I went to sleep at 11:30. My body was just like,
well, I don't know. I don't know how you don't realize that people need more than 6 hours, 2 hours of sleep.
I slept 8 hours. I slept like 8 hours last night.
Yeah, and how many did you sleep the day before?
2.
That's not how that works. I don't know how you're surprised. There's like maybe 3 people on the planet who can actually sleep like 4 hours a day. So,
one of them.
Oh, you raising your hand? Yeah, no. You say this ain't like, oh yeah, I'm on no sleep, grind, gotta grind, and then like the next week you sleep in. It's like, well, that's what happens when you sleep 2 hours.
I gotta go. Peace.
Yep. Middleburg, I never heard of that. We just talked about that, Chris. And the inbred. Oh my goodness. That's not Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a bad area. Where's not Jacksonville? All right, it doesn't matter. Anyways, what can we talk about? It might just be the end of the day. Let's check it. Tomorrow is Friday, which means I'm also producing. And tomorrow might be the day I try and make a push for 2 hours. But I need some guests on. Oh, the Clippers, Trey Mann. Terrence Mann finally played. He played the whole fourth quarter. And that was freaking awesome. pull up the screen. Producer. No dead air. So to the Raptors, to Mr. Thomas's Raptors, but Kawhi with what I think he had 5 dunks last night. We saw a beautiful Kawhi Leonard in what appears to be pretty much full form. And funny comment, Thomas. But Russ didn't play bad at all. It's just I feel like Russ has so many expectations on him. It's like this is how old is Russ? 34. This is a 34-year-old man who just got bought out by his championship caliber team, who came off the bench all season, and people are acting like, oh, this man, he is a Hall of Famer, but like I just think the expectations on Russ is way too high. I don't know how it took Ty Lue to figure this rotation out since Russ got into town, because Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and when that 4 was on the court at the same time, they were an unbelievable basketball team, and they were finally starting to figure it out right before the All-Star break, before the trade deadline, rather. And then once Russ comes into town, it's like, all right, Terrence, here's 10 minutes, figure it out. It's just, it doesn't work. So last night, what they did was beautiful. What I would change about it is I would start Terrence Mann, and I would put Russell Westbrook, the 34-year-old buyout candidate, onto the bench and give him exactly what he played last night, 23. He had a good game, and he helped it out. So maybe you can see him play 25. If he's feeling really good, you can go up to 28, whatever. But Terrence Mann needs to be the starter. He needs to be the closer. He played all 12 minutes in the fourth quarter last night, and that's the way it needs to be moving forward. Terrence Mann has really come into his own. What's your projection of him as a player, role player or star? Oh, I think it's a little too early to say a star. I think he has a star ceiling. There's nothing bad with being a role player. I think he's a starting caliber. The way he looks is a starting caliber role player, if that makes sense. I'm curious what his splits are going to be, because he had that month where he was right here in the month of February. He was balling his ass off. 63.6 from the field, 52% from downtown. He's almost a 60, 50, 90 guy. 12.5 points. That assist number, I feel like, is higher, but post All-Star break, look at that. 63% from the field, 40% from downtown. You got to play the man. You just got to play the man. What is he, 21? He's 26. I didn't know Terrence Mann was 26 years old. So at that point, yeah, I would say he's looking like a starting role player. You see Kendrick call out Perk. I don't really watch ESPN. I'm a Fox Sports FS1 kind of guy. I like The Herd. I love Undisputed. And I saw it, and then I saw ESPN's apology. ESPN's just pretty much like a joke. So they do need to play Rocco Chris as well. That's something Ty Lue needs to figure out. And it's like even NBA casuals on Twitter, just like even Clipper fans in general, like they all know this. And Ty Lue seems to make his adjustments in increments, which is it's just Clippers fans have been calling for a lot of these tweaks for games and games, weeks, months, all season. And then he finally does it and it works. And it's like, oh yeah, everybody else knew this. You can tell he's trained a lot with Paul George. They shoot identically. Well, he's with some great studs, man. He really is. I would love to see him start off the rest of the season. And that was so much of the hype I had with Terrence Mann for the remainder of the year was before they acquired Russ. And even when they acquired Russ, if you remember, it was still up in the air if he was going to be on the bench or if he was going to be a starter. And they decided to rock with him on the bench. And it's not a jab at Russ. It's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it wasn't broken. And you also got to give a lot of props to Zubac, because when he plays, you can tell when he misses games how much of an impact he has. And Mason Plumlee's a great player, but Zubac is he's underrated in his own regard. He's just a talented basketball player. No Norman Powell last night. I'm glad Eric Gordon's not in the starting lineup because Rocket fans would attest to this. When Eric Gordon gets the ball, he shoots threes. That's his role at this point in his career. He's not meant to command an offense. He's not meant to be a heavily involved in playmaking. He's going to get the ball and he's going to shoot the three. He does a good job of driving, but yeah. Bones Highland, a lot of people are still big on Bones Highland. I'm still a little bit skeptical because when teams give up on players like that, they see something that I guess we can't necessarily see. He does have a lot of raw talent. The issue with going to the Clippers is the Clippers have so many players that should be playing and getting minutes. Look at like Nicholas Batum. I mean, he should be playing way more than what he is right now. Just last night in their 9-man rotation without Norman Powell, that's a 10-man. And then you also have Rocco, who should be playing, and you also have Bones Highland. So that's the whole not fatal flaw with the Clippers, but that's the issue is you have all this talent in general, and now you only have, after the deadline, you only had 20 games to figure it all out. So you got to start getting creative. And the Clippers went on a losing streak, and they haven't been able to find their rhythm. And Russell Westbrook couldn't win as a starter, and the clock is ticking. But now, the way let's just pull up the standings. The way the standings are, and I know who was talking about it. Ramos was talking about it. Like, you just go. Pelicans are a team that could definitely do it. You just go on a 5-game winning streak. Cyro and I have talked about this all season for a lot of these teams like the Lakers and stuff. You go on a 5-game winning streak, and just like that, where do we have the Clippers at 12? 5-game winning streak. I mean, they're already tied for 5th and 6th, which is way better than what it was looking like 1 week ago. Pelicans go on a 5-game winning streak and win your next 4 games. Well, you're probably back into the 7th or 8th spot, and you're going to be still right there battling for 5 and 6. Minnesota's a really interesting team. We just saw Rudy Gobert kind of get exposed the other night. Dallas Luka's injury certainly doesn't help, but the addition of Kyrie Irving, it's also just going to take time. This is why you don't make, or it's not you don't make them, but that's why you don't see like huge moves at the deadline, is because there's only so much time that you have, and it takes time. Like the Clippers last night, for the first time since the acquisitions, looked like a team that has played together. So it just takes time. But the good news is for a lot of these teams like the Suns and the Mavericks, is a lot of the moves they made it's not just for this season. It's, think about the Raptors as well in the East. Like, these moves are being made for the future to just set it all up. Lakers and Pels got the same record. Who do the Lakers play tonight? Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at tonight's slate. What is it? Thursday. There shouldn't be too many games on. This has been a weird week because, there's 6 games on. It's way better than the start of the season. I don't know if you guys remember the start of the season. You'd have like 10 games. It'd be like 10 games on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then be like 2 games on Tuesday and Thursday, or 3 games, the 2 TNTs. And it's like, what the heck? When 10 teams play, as a guy who has a show, when 10 teams play, there's 10 games, when 20 teams play on one night, it is the hardest thing to figure it all out. Like, it's just so goddamn complicated. Yeah, that's right. Raptors, Lakers. That's a big ass game. I love these prime timers. So tonight we got the Rockets, Pacers, Jazz, Magic. I mean, these are Jazz, Hornets, Pistons, Warriors, Grizzlies, but no Ja Morant. I anticipate the Grizzlies will still be competitive on it because it's on the road, and Golden State is they couldn't play dead in a horror movie on the road. It's that bad. Nets, Bucks. These are one of those sneaker games where you just never know. Like, maybe the Nets take advantage of it. The big game, and I know that NBA fans, but especially Kings fans and Knicks fans, have been waiting for this one. We got Sacramento versus New York primetime. All right. That's going to be a great basketball game, and it's on at 10 o'clock at night. Perfect. 10 o'clock. I love when that happens. Timberwolves and Mavs got the same record. Yeah, I'm going to go Mavericks. Or, if I had to make a prediction, I'd go Mavericks 7 seed, Timberwolves 8 or 9. I don't know, dude. It's all a coin flip. It's all up in the air. And the East is similar-ish, but it's just not as exciting. Like the Heat lost to the Cavs last night. They almost came back. Atlanta got a huge comeback win against Washington. Washington's floating all the way down there. That Cavs game, let's pull up Evan Mobley because he's averaging like 20 and 10 since the All-Star break. And last night, the Heat were coming back. If you look at the stats here, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Great job with the assists, Mobley. 1 steal, 2 blocks. The impact he had in the final 3 minutes of that basketball game is something you can't even explain. He blocked Jimmy Butler. He had a closeout on, I believe, Oladipo, a bad shot by Depot because of the defense on Mobley. It's just the difference. That's like the difference with a guy like Evan Mobley. I don't want to compare him to Jokic, but you have your Kayvon Looney's, you have your DeAndre Ayton, even like you have your guys who can guard guards or at least hold their own against guards, and it makes all the difference. The Cavs are such a fascinating team in the playoffs because Donovan Mitchell's a player who they're only going to get as far as D. Mitch lets them. D. Mitch is going to do good. He could average 40 points in the first round. If they play New York, he could average 40 points in that series. DG does his thing. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, they do their things on both sides of the ball. And just like that, Cleveland riding high heading into the second round. Depends on who they play. It's just Cleveland's going to be a fun team to watch in the playoffs. The Raps desperately need a dub. Oh, let's go to post-All-Star break. Evan Mobley, Mob, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.7 blocks, 0.9 steals, 55% from the field. Evan Mobley has had maybe there's been a month in here where there's been a sophomore slump, like December, it looks like, but barely. If 14 and 9 and 3.5 and over a block per game at 56% from the field. If that's a sophomore slump, I think they're pretty goddamn content with that. When you have surgeries on your meniscus, you're playing with your career at that point. 1 is bad enough. 3 is career on the line. It's awesome. Go Bulls. It sucks. I'm so ready for the Rockets off season so we can get Salas out of the building. The tank battle, 15 and 50. Spurs are knocking on their door with 16 wins. That back-to-back win against San Antonio sucks. And don't forget about Pistons, 9 straight losses. They also have 15 wins. So give my Pelicans Evan Mobley and Tyus Jones. So I'll give you a championship. So how's that sound? All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today. Appreciate you all tuning in. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Hopefully we got some guests on. And, yeah, that Knicks, Kings, and even Grizzlies, Warriors because of the hatred of the two teams. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.